What if I told you that standing still is the most dangerous move you could ever make? Not running, not falling, not failing, but standing still. You wouldn't believe me at first. It sounds safe, right? Stillness feels controlled, comfortable, like a break you deserve, like the world will wait. But here's the truth, it won't. While you're catching your breath, life keeps moving. The people around you, they're advancing. The world, it's spinning forward with or without your permission. And the goals you thought were patiently waiting, they're slipping further out of reach with every second you choose not to move. Stillness in this world isn't peace, it's decline. Think about it. When have you ever grown during the easy moments? When have you ever looked back and said, that time when I did nothing, yeah, that's when everything changed? You haven't, because nothing changes when you stay the same. We live in a world that does not reward stillness. It rewards resilience. It rewards those who show up imperfect, uncertain, and maybe even afraid, but who still show up. The ones who keep moving, even when every part of them wants to stop. So let me ask you this. Where in your life have you chosen to pause, thinking it was harmless? Where have you told yourself, it's okay, I'll figure it out later, while the clock kept ticking, while others kept learning, building, doing? That version of you that you admire in your head, that stronger, wiser, more disciplined version, that version isn't standing still waiting for you to catch up. It's ahead, far ahead, and it's up to you to start walking toward it. Because if you stand still, you don't just pause your progress, you fall backwards. And no one is going to push you forward, but you. Let's talk about what that really means. You've probably been told at some point, take your time, be still, let things come to you. It sounds peaceful, like wisdom wrapped in comfort. But in reality, that advice can be dangerous, because the idea of stillness being safe is a lie we tell ourselves when we're afraid to move. Let's be honest. Most people don't stand still because they want clarity. They stand still because they're scared. Scared of failing. Scared of judgment. Scared they're not good enough, smart enough, fast enough. So they hide behind the mask of waiting. They say, I'm just being patient, or now's not the right time. They pretend like they're planning, but what they're really doing is avoiding. You know what that is? It's self-sabotage in disguise. Because here's what the world doesn't say loud enough. Time moves. Whether you do or not, opportunity doesn't pause. Your competition doesn't pause. Growth doesn't pause. The clock doesn't freeze because you're tired or confused. It keeps ticking. And for every moment you sit in that fake safety of stillness, something you could have had is slipping out of your hands. Standing still might feel like a neutral choice, but it's not. It's a decision, a direction. And it always leads backward, because while you're sitting still, everything else is moving. You're not holding your ground. You're losing it. You might think, but I need time to figure things out. Sure. Reflect. Breathe. But don't build a home there. Don't make inaction your identity. There's a difference between a pause for strategy and a full stop, born of fear. A strategic pause is brief, intentional. It leads somewhere, but too many people take that pause and turn it into their lifestyle. They settle in. They decorate the walls of indecision. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that quiet, creeping frustration with yourself? That feeling like you're falling behind but can't quite explain why? That's not depression. That's not confusion. That's your soul calling you out. That's your instinct knowing you're meant for more, but you're choosing less. Because here's the harsh truth. Nobody stays exactly where they are. You're either evolving or decaying. There is no staying the same. Your body is aging, the world is changing, your potential is either expanding or shrinking. Stillness isn't the absence of movement. It's the silent drift away from your goals. It's like trying to stand still in the middle of a river. You think you're not moving, but the current is pulling you backwards. That current, it's time. It's other people improving. It's life demanding more of you, whether you're ready or not. And if you don't swim, if you don't act, you drown. Slowly, silently. Not all at once, but inch by inch. That job you wanted, someone else is out there working for it. That book you wanted to write, someone else is typing right now. That business idea, someone is pitching it, someone less talented, less prepared, maybe even less experienced, but they're moving, and that's the difference. It's not the most gifted people who succeed. It's the ones who refuse to be still. Stillness is seductive. It whispers that you're safe here, that you don't need to risk anything yet, that tomorrow is a better time. And you believe it because it's easier than doing the hard, uncomfortable, messy work of action. But that's a trap, and the longer you sit in it, the more it feels like home, until you forget what it even felt like to be hungry, to chase something, to fight. You don't need perfect clarity to move. You don't need every step figured out. You just need one reason that's stronger than your excuse. One action that puts you in motion. Because motion creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunity. Even small steps forward shake you out of paralysis. They shift your mindset. They remind you of what you're capable of. And no, movement doesn't guarantee success. You'll trip, you'll take wrong turns, you'll fall, but at least you're in the game. You're learning, you're growing, you're alive. Compare that to stillness, where everything stays quiet on the outside, but inside, you're decaying, your confidence erodes, your ambition gets quieter, your dreams fade into maybe someday. And before you know it, you're not the person you used to be. You're a watered-down version, safe, predictable, comfortable, but hollow. You didn't come this far to build a life that feels like sleepwalking. You didn't survive what you've survived just to settle in a corner of your own potential. And deep down, you know that. And so the next time you hear that voice, say just wait a little longer, sit this one out, recognize it for what it is. Fear dressed up as logic. And the next time you catch yourself saying, I'm stuck, take a hard look and ask, or am I just standing still? Because if you're standing still, you're already falling behind. If there's one truth people don't like to hear, it's this. Growth is ugly. It's inconvenient. It's painful. It doesn't happen when you're rested, cozy, or calm. It happens in the chaos, in the fire, in the pressure. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when you're uncomfortable, and how you handle that discomfort is what separates the average from the exceptional. You can't coast your way into greatness. You can't rest your way into discipline. Yet, that's what so many people want. They want the success without the sweat, the transformation without the tension. They want the reward, but they don't want the resistance. But discomfort is the price, always has been, always will be. You want to know how to get stronger? Pick up something heavy, physically, emotionally, mentally. Growth is about weight. It's about resistance. It's about pressure. Muscles don't build from being still. They grow by being torn. That tear, that burn, that's pain, yes, but it's also becoming, and your character works the same way. No one builds confidence from comfort. You don't trust yourself more because everything went right. You trust yourself more because everything went wrong, and you handled it anyway, because you stayed in the fight, because you proved to yourself that you don't break as easily as you thought. Think about the most defining moments in your life. Were they soft, slow, or quiet? Or were they hard, messy, filled with doubt? That heartbreak, that failure, that rejection, that night you didn't think you could get through, those moments didn't destroy you. They built you. And if they didn't build you, it's because you ran from the discomfort instead of sitting in it, learning from it, pushing through it. Most people don't lack potential. They lack pain tolerance. The moment it gets hard, they flinch, they tap out, they look for the exit. And they never realize that the discomfort they're avoiding is exactly what they need. Because pain is a message. It's life trying to grow you. But we've been taught to run from discomfort, that it's a sign something's wrong, that it means you're not ready or not capable. No, discomfort means you're in it. You're doing the work. You're stretching. And anything that stretches has to feel pressure. You think those people you admire got where they are by feeling good all the time? No. They got up on days they didn't want to. They trained when their bodies were exhausted. They showed up when nobody clapped. They failed in front of people and then showed up again. Why? Because they knew discomfort was the tax you pay for growth. And that's the difference. They didn't like the pain, but they didn't run from it either. You will never become the person you're meant to be without facing the hard things. You will never develop grit, self-control, or resilience inside a comfort zone. Growth is inconvenient by nature. It shows up when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you've already given so much. That's the test. Anybody can be motivated when things are easy. That's not impressive. What matters is who you are when it's uncomfortable, when you're scared, when the results aren't showing yet, when no one is watching. That's where you level up. That's where the future version of you is being shaped. Because here's what discomfort does. It humbles you. It forces you to let go of what you think you know. It makes you pay attention. It makes you work. It forces growth out of you, whether you want it or not. It introduces you to your limits, and then asks, now what? Discomfort is not a wall. It's a mirror. It shows you where the work is. If you want more discipline, you'll find it in the uncomfortable choice, the early wake up, the hard conversation, the rejection. If you want more confidence, you'll find it in doing the thing that terrifies you. If you want more success, you'll find it in showing up on the days it feels pointless. The lie we tell ourselves is that we'll move forward when it gets easier. But it doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. And the only way to get stronger is to go through the hard part first. That's the deal. So if it's uncomfortable, good. That means you're on the edge of something. That means you're in the process of becoming someone. The pain isn't the problem. The pain is the process. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for confidence to show up first. Move. Push, stretch, lean into the uncomfortable parts because they are the gateway to everything you say you want. And no, it won't feel good in the moment. Growth rarely does. But later, when you look back, you'll know that it was the struggle that shaped you, the discomfort that sharpened you, the pressure that made you. You don't grow from rest. You rest because you grew. But to grow, you've got to get uncomfortable first. Motivation is a liar. It's unreliable, it's inconsistent, and it disappears the second things get tough. You've probably felt that high before, the rush of a new goal, a fresh plan, the fire in your chest that makes you believe this time. It's different. And maybe for a day or two it is. You wake up early, you push hard, you feel unstoppable. But then, it fades. Suddenly the alarm feels heavier. The gym looks farther. The work feels boring again. The energy that fueled you yesterday is nowhere to be found today. That's what motivation does. It gives you a burst and then bails. It leaves you hanging right when the work actually begins. And if you depend on that feeling to move, to act, to become, you're in trouble, because motivation won't carry you to your goal. Discipline will. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't make you feel hyped. It doesn't pump you up. It's quiet. It's consistent. It's unglamorous. It's the voice in your head that says, I don't care how you feel. Do it anyway. It's showing up on the days you don't want to. It's doing the work when no one's watching. It's choosing what matters most over what feels good now. And that's the real problem. Most people are chasing feelings instead of chasing results. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel inspired. They wait until it's convenient, exciting, or easy. And while they wait, time moves on. Goals collect dust. Potential sits unused. The gap between who they are and who they want to be gets wider and wider. Discipline doesn't wait for a feeling. Discipline is a decision. It's waking up and doing what needs to be done. Whether you're in the mood or not, it's preparing for the day even when you're tired. It's writing the email, making the call, showing up to the gym, studying the material, pushing one more rep, taking one more step, no matter what your emotions are telling you. You see, discipline is freedom in disguise. People think it's restrictive, like some rigid system that sucks the joy out of life. But the truth is, discipline gives you control. It puts the power back in your hands. It separates you from the chaos of your moods, distractions, and excuses. When you're disciplined, you don't wait for life to happen. You make it happen. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Discipline says it doesn't matter. Think about anyone you admire, an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, a soldier, a survivor. They didn't get there by following their feelings. They didn't build their craft or strength or legacy because they were motivated every day. They got there by refusing to negotiate with their emotions. They built systems. They created habits. They committed over and over again. And yes, some days they hated it. Some days it sucked, but they did it anyway. That's what discipline looks like. Doing it when it sucks, especially when it sucks. Most people underestimate how many days you'll have to show up without motivation. They expect that excitement should stay, that inspiration should be part of the package. But it's not. That's the trap. The moment you think you need to feel good to perform, you've already lost, because feelings are unstable. Discipline is not. Let's be real. There will be days you don't want to do a damn thing. Days when you're exhausted, bored, angry, anxious, lonely. Days when it feels pointless. Days when everything in your body and mind screams, take it easy, skip it, no one will notice. And maybe no one will notice, but you will. And over time, those skipped reps, those canceled commitments, those just this once decisions, they start building something too. They build regret. Regret is the shadow of undisciplined choices. It lingers. It creeps into your self-respect. It haunts you later when you realize how far you could have gone if you had just stayed consistent. But when you choose discipline, even in small ways, you build something else: pride, confidence, trust in yourself. You stop second-guessing because you know you can count on you. You don't need a perfect plan or a magical burst of motivation. You just need to do what you said you would do, especially when you don't feel like doing it. And let's not confuse this with being harsh on yourself. Discipline isn't cruelty. It's care. It's self-respect in motion. It says, I deserve the life I want, so I'll do what it takes to earn it. It says, my future matters more than my momentary comfort. That's not punishment, that's power. If you want to change your life, stop waiting to feel like it. Set the alarm. Show up tired, make the call nervous, write the page uninspired. Do the workout unmotivated. You don't have to be excited. You just have to be there. Because discipline doesn't guarantee that you'll love every step of the journey. But it does guarantee that you'll reach a place you never would have found by sitting around waiting for motivation to strike again. So ask yourself, do you want the life that feels good for a few moments, or the one that feels right every day you wake up knowing you earned it? Motivation will leave you. Discipline will lead you. The world doesn't care how badly you want it. It doesn't care how hard your childhood was, how many people doubted you, or how good your intentions are. It doesn't hand out success because you've suffered or because you feel like you deserve it. And if you're waiting for the world to recognize your pain and reward you for simply surviving, you'll be waiting forever. The world owes you nothing. Not a chance, not a break, not an apology. And that's not a reason to feel bitter. That's a reason to move, to take ownership of every inch of your path, to stop waiting for the door to open and start kicking it down yourself. We live in a time where entitlement is masked as empowerment. Everyone wants to be seen, validated, chosen, without earning it. People think they're supposed to be successful because they have potential or because they've been through tough times. But potential is just raw material. Pain is just part of the story. Neither guarantees anything. You still have to do the work. You don't get a trophy for trying. You don't become unstoppable by being wounded. The world isn't going to slow down so you can heal. It's not going to adjust itself to make your goals more comfortable to reach. And honestly, it shouldn't, because the discomfort, the unfairness, the silence, that's what makes you. That's what sharpens you. That's what separates the ones who wait to be saved from the ones who decide to save themselves. Life is not fair. And that's the point. Because if life were fair, your effort wouldn't matter. Your hustle wouldn't change anything. But in an unfair world, your grit gives you an edge. Your consistency builds what talent alone can't touch. In an unfair world, the ones who keep moving, despite it all, become the ones who rise. So stop looking around for someone to give you permission. Stop waiting for your circumstances to get easier. The truth is, most people won't believe in you until you've already made it. They won't clap for you until the scoreboard tells them you're worth clapping for. That's how the world works. But you're not doing it for them, are you? You move anyway. You move because quitting isn't an option. Because staying where you are hurts more than growing. Because you know no one is coming to rescue you, and that's the most empowering thing you could ever realize. When you stop expecting the world to give you what you want, you start building it yourself. The job you want? Go earn it. Learn the skills, make the calls, face the rejections. No one is going to place it in your lap because you deserve a shot. You want respect? Show up like someone who deserves it. Not once, not for a week, every day. You want to be strong? Then lift the weight. Not just when it's light or convenient, but when it burns, when it's lonely, when it's thankless. That's where real power is built. Nobody's success came without invisible battles, without nights of doubt, failure, fear, and fatigue. The people who make it aren't superhuman. They're relentless. They didn't wait for the world to notice them. They made themselves impossible to ignore. It's time to stop romanticizing your dreams and start taking ownership of them. Wanting it badly isn't enough. Feeling ready isn't required. Life doesn't ask if you're comfortable before it challenges you. And the most dangerous lie you can believe is that you need to wait until you're more prepared, more supported, more confident. You don't. You need to move now, imperfect, unsure, uninvited, and earn your place. And yes, it will be hard. It will feel unfair. You will watch people with more advantages, more connections, more visibility fly past you. Let them. That's not your race. Your job isn't to match their pace. Your job is to keep moving. No matter how long it takes, no matter how loud the silence, no matter how many times you fall. Because there's something powerful about the person who refuses to quit. The one who doesn't need applause to keep going. The one who's not counting on the world to understand them, but instead builds something so undeniable the world has no choice but to take notice. You don't need validation. You need consistency. You don't need fairness. You need fight. The people who succeed long-term, they're not the lucky ones. They're the ones who show up when it's inconvenient, who stay when it's boring, who push when it hurts. They're not owed anything, but they earn everything. So stop keeping score of what the world has given you. Start focusing on what you can give to the world. Stop waiting for the ideal moment. This is the moment. This is your shot. Not tomorrow. Not when it's fair. Now. The world owes you nothing. So stand up. Move anyway. Staying the same is not strength. It's a slow death. Reinvention isn't a luxury, it's survival. The world changes whether you're ready or not. People move on. Systems evolve. Rules shift. And if you stay locked in who you used to be, clinging to your old identity, your old habits, your old story, you don't stay in place. You fall behind. Reinvention is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming who you need to be for where you're going. It's about letting go of the version of yourself that got you this far, because that version might not be enough to take you any further. And that's not an insult to your past, it's a call to your future. You've probably had moments where you felt stuck. Like no matter what you did, something wasn't clicking. You weren't moving. You weren't growing. That's usually not because you lack talent or potential. It's because the strategies that once worked have stopped working. The mindset that once served you is now holding you back. The armor you once needed has become too heavy. That's when reinvention has to happen. That's when you need to have the courage to take a hard look at yourself and say, this version of me got me here, but it won't get me there. And here's the hard truth. Reinvention requires ego death. It demands that you get honest. It demands that you Give up your pride, your attachment to being right, and sometimes your comfort with being liked. It demands you stop being nostalgic for who you were and start building who you must become. That's not easy. It's painful. It feels like betrayal sometimes, like you're walking away from your own history, but you're not betraying your past. You're honoring your potential. Think about nature. The snake sheds its skin to grow. The caterpillar dissolves inside a cocoon to become something new. The tree drops its leaves so it can survive winter and return stronger in spring. Survival is always tied to transformation. You are no different. Yet so many people resist this process. They grip tightly to old labels. This is just who I am. They stay inside outdated routines and stories because they're familiar, even when they're destructive. But comfort zones are cages with invisible locks. They don't look dangerous, they just slowly keep you small. Reinvention is about refusing to stay small. It's saying, I'm allowed to grow, I'm allowed to change my mind. I'm allowed to want more. I'm allowed to outgrow people, environments, and even parts of myself. That doesn't mean you're fake. That doesn't mean you're abandoning who you are. It means you are evolving with intention instead of decaying through denial. People will try to keep you in the version of yourself that they're comfortable with, the one they can predict, the one they understand. But you don't owe anyone your stagnation. You don't owe anyone the old version of you just because it's easier for them. Reinvention is not a group decision. It's a solo mission. And it usually begins in silence. Because the truth is, most people won't see the shift until the results start speaking for you. Reinvention often starts alone. Late nights, early mornings, deep questions, uncomfortable truths. It happens in the spaces where no one claps. But over time, it becomes visible. It becomes undeniable. And when they finally notice, you'll already be living in the next chapter. Reinvention also means taking accountability. If your life isn't where you want it to be, the answer is not to blame the world. It's to ask, who do I need to become to change this? That question holds power. Because when you realize you can change yourself, you realize you can change everything. You might have to let go of habits that numb you, people who drain you, environments that limit you, thought patterns that sabotage you. That's part of the work. Reinvention means breaking your own rules, writing a new script, risking being misunderstood. But if you don't take that risk, you stay stuck in the loop of almost, could have, maybe, someday. Reinvention demands you choose your next identity, not in some fake, superficial way, but from the inside out. It's the decision to become the kind of person who can carry the weight of their own dreams. That takes courage. That takes discipline. That takes sacrifice. But here's what it also gives you: freedom. The freedom to stop living by default. The freedom to create your life on purpose. The freedom to grow without asking for permission. So if you feel like something in your life isn't working, don't numb it. Don't ignore it. That feeling is your signal. It's telling you you're not done yet. You're not finished becoming. You've still got more in you. And maybe right now you don't have all the answers. That's okay. Reinvention doesn't start with certainty. It starts with the decision to change anyway. Burn the script, break the mold, trust the process, and know that survival is not about staying the same. Survival is about becoming agile, adaptable, unrecognizable to the version of yourself that once settled for less. You're not here to repeat the past. You're here to rewrite it. Reinvention is survival, and it's time to become someone your old self couldn't even imagine. You don't get to stand still and win. Not in this world, not in this life, because standing still is an illusion. It's just falling backwards in slow motion. Growth is not something you stumble into. It's something you fight for. Every inch, every day. And that fight, it doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discipline, from the relentless decision to keep moving, even when it hurts, even when no one sees you, even when nothing around you seems to change. If you're waiting for the world to hand you something, stop. The world owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. Your effort, your honesty, your transformation. And you owe it to the future version of you who's counting on you to not give up now. Reinvention isn't weakness, it's strength. It's survival. It's what you do when you refuse to be defined by your past, your pain, or your limitations. You weren't born to live on repeat. You were born to evolve. And every time you choose growth over comfort, discipline over feelings, action over waiting, you are rewriting your story. So here's your truth. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to push you. But you can save yourself. You can push yourself. And if you keep doing that, if you keep rising when it's easier to lay down, if you keep showing up when no one claps, you become unstoppable. Because in the end, it's not about being the strongest, the smartest, or the most talented. It's about being the one who refuses to stay still. Keep moving. Keep evolving. Your future demands it.